Hello, my name is Branden Bryce. Welcome to the Veggie Gardener. So it's still pajama day, so I'm gonna give you a sec and go get your pajamas and probably a cup of hot coffee or tea, and then we'll begin. Okay, welcome back. So today we are putting, sorry, I'm getting comfortable. We are putting our vegetables on the calendar that we made. Let's actually put in our frosts for a sec. Early May, early October. Okay, awesome. All right, we split our veggies up into two groups. From these two groups, we're gonna actually split them up into two more groups. For the cold, we're splitting them up into hardy and semi-hardy. For the warm, we're gonna split them up into tender and very tender. All right, so for the hardy, oh wait, before we start, because we're gonna need it for this, when we're talking about these veggies, we can assume that each month is equals to 4 weeks. That only makes these guys a little easier once we start, thinking about them. All right, now let's get to it. Hardy. They can handle freezes. A freeze is 28 degrees Fahrenheit. They can grow in 40 degrees or more Fahrenheit. They like more, but they can grow in 40. That's what that means. When you plant them, you want to plant them 4 to 2 weeks before the last frost. So if 4 weeks is about a month, we can plant them. We can start planting hardy plants early April, which is why we're going to start in April. They survive about 2 to 4 weeks after the first frost. Now that's more of a hint than anything else, but what it means is, of course, if 4 weeks is about a month, we can expect them to survive somewhere into early November. All right, the reason why it's a hint is it's really just survive, so we got to work backwards from that. We would want to, figure out that they're surviving this far, and then we're gonna have to look at how long it takes for them to mature. So let's say we plant a crop that matures in 2 months. Well, then we would go 1 month, 2 months, and we would want to at least plant in early September. So that's why it's more of a hint than anything else. Okay. All right. Oh, hey, where'd my red go? I want blue. Cool. I just wanted to give you bullet points, that's all. Okay. Let's keep going. So, yes, we did hardy. Now let's do semi-hardy. Semi-hardy plants can handle a frost. That means 32 degrees Fahrenheit or above. They can be planted 2 to 0 weeks before the last frost. So what that means is that's about a half a month. So what, like mid-April or something? I don't need a marker. Mid-April. They can survive 0 to 2 weeks after the first frost. So that's about late October or something like that. Maybe somewhere between middle and late or something. Yeah. All right. So, all right, let's put these guys up on the board. Woo, I'm throwing stuff around. Let's see. We can plant them 2 to 4 weeks. So we can start here. And they can probably go, as we talked about last video to about early June. So this is our hardy, and they can survive about a month after, and we will probably be planting. So this does kind of take some background knowledge because I am working backwards. Our longer season plants, they take about like 3 to 4 months to grow. So let's say October is 1 month, September is 2 months, August is 3 months. We'll probably be starting or transplanting them somewhere in July. Probably mid to late July or something. We'll figure that out as we get there. Okay, and then our semi-hardy. So let's see. Hardy. Okay. Ooh, that's a bad S. Is that an S? No, that's a 2. Let's do an S. Well, first let's erase this. That's in the way. All right. S is opposite. Semi-hardy. All right, semi-hardy. Semi-hardy, we can plant 2 to 0 weeks before the last frost. So that's about mid-April. Okay, and they will go to about June just as well. All right, and then they can survive about half a month after our first frost. And yeah, they can probably be about planted at the same time as our hardy plants. Okay, I think I'm done with blue. All right, now we're on to our warm season crops. Okay, we split the warm season. We split the warm season up into 2 groups, right? Tender. Oh, here's a pattern, just so you guys know. You know, we're going from hardy, semi-hardy, tender to very tender. So these are like, they can handle more cold. These guys cannot handle cold at all. Okay, there you go. Tender. They like daytime temps of 55 degrees or above. They cannot handle the frost. If you plant seeds directly into the ground, you can plant them at or past the first frost. Let's put a T there. Okay, at or past the first frost if we put seeds in the ground. If we put transplants in the ground, those are plants already started, we want to plant at about late May. We'll make these big. All right, and then they will pretty much live up until the frost. Cool. So that's a pretty long season. Well, decent. Now we get to our very tender. I hope you can see this and I'm not in the way. All right, so our very tender. They cannot handle a cool spring breeze. They like daytime temperatures of 60 degrees or above. They prefer, though, temperatures of 70 degrees to 90 degrees. We should transplant them in June. And they will go pretty much all the way up to the frost, although really probably maybe a little earlier than that because again, they can't really handle the spring breeze, although the mature plants are a little more hardy than the smaller plants. Okay, let's see, what else? Right, let's talk about that. So the reason why we give our our very tenders a little bit more time is, again, if you remember from last video, we're using a 50% chance frost date. That's not a guarantee. So a rule of thumb here is 2 weeks after that 50% chance, over here anyways, we have a 90% chance that we're not gonna have a frost. 2 weeks before, it'd be a 90% chance that we will have a frost. And really you just flip that rule around when it comes to the first frost. 2 weeks before, we have a 90% chance that we won't have a frost. 2 weeks after, we have a 90% chance that we will have a frost. Now you don't have to remember that. All you really have to do is remember that we just give it a little bit more time because we are not really sure when the frost is, or when the last frost is really going to happen. If you plant your plants somewhere over here, transplant them somewhere in early May, thinking like, hey, we passed the frost, well, we actually have a pretty good chance of still getting a frost in May. In fact, I've seen plenty of people plant after Mother's Day because that's the rule, which is what, May 14th or something? And then we have a snow on May 20th and everything dies. All right, so that's why we give them a little bit more space, a little bit more buffer. Let me check my notes and make sure we covered everything because I think we did. Right, okay. So I'm gonna show you I'm gonna show you actually a temperature chart somewhere. And let's get into it.